Alrighty boys, welcome back once again to another video. How you guys doing? Guys, today we're going to be doing a video that's very similar to a recent one that I did, where I did a Metal Marauder versus the Santa's Little Helper type of compare, contrast, crown a winner type thing. Basically just the normal versus video to figure out which one was better, and you guys really liked that style of video to the point where it had a 99% like to dislike ratio. And I enjoy recording these videos more than the reviews, you know, just the basic reviews and nothing else, because it's just kind of getting a little bit boring. So these versus videos are pretty fun, you guys enjoy them, so we're going to be doing yet another today. So in today's video, we're taking a look at the Spectral Blade, which was the Christmas blade from last year, which for some reason is labeled as a Halloween weapon in the collection book, and we're also going to be comparing this to the Storm King's Ravager, which is the new mythic sword within Fortnite Save the World. Now, there's two reasons I'm making this video. Number one is that the Spectral Blade and the Storm King's Ravager share a lot of similarities, and a lot of people are curious, well, how do they really, you know, shape up against each other? How do they compare to each other? What's the differences and all that kind of stuff? That's what this video is going to serve the purpose of. And number two, the reason this is being made is that the Spectral Blade has finally come back to the game, and you can get it from the weekly shop for 1680 gold. You guys have about 6 to 5 more days to actually pick it up. Now, the Spectral Blade has been known for a very long time as the best sword in the game. However, with version 11.20, we have some mythic weapons, and every single one of these mythic weapons seem to be pretty good. So how exactly does it stack up to the Ravager? That's what we're going to be finding out. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the Spectral Blade, as it is the oldest weapon, and kind of talk a little bit about the perks, how the weapon works, and all that kind of stuff. So the Spectral Blade, like I said, has been one of the best swords in the entire game for a very long time now. This is mainly due because of the stats that this weapon has, as well as the really good perks that it can have combined with the heavy attack. Now, the perks that this weapon can have is a crit rate, double crit damage, damage to condition, which is like slowed and snared or affliction, and energy as its element. I think you can also do like water and physical, but we normally go energy because it's like the, you know, the global element. You use it on anything. So the perks are really good. The heavy attack that it has is really good. It's called the Spectral Slash. Basically allows you to teleport towards enemies and then slash them, killing upwards of multiple of them at a time. And then taking a look at the stats of this weapon, you have like 20,000 damage, a 43% crit hit chance, 320% crit hit damage, a really good attack speed of 0.47, and an impact of around 700. Now, whenever it comes to the Storm King's Ravager, you also have a really good weapon with good base stats, with good perks, and really good heavy attacks. Yes, I said heavy attacks as in plural. The Storm King's Ravager comes with a crit rate, double crit damage, and instead of a damage to condition, you can do an attack speed and then energy. It also has a unique 6 perk which says hitting an enemy empowers the Storm Wave to shoot a piercing wave of energy, dealing 245% of weapon damage, and this will stack up to 7 times, increasing the width of the wave each stack, and then they're all removed whenever you use it or you switch weapons. So the Storm Wave, of course, is one of the heavy attacks, but the other heavy attack is actually the Spectral Slash, and you can actually use this by using it in mid-air. So the Storm King's Ravager actually does have 2 heavy attacks, which makes it extremely unique. Moving on over to the stats, you have around 25,000 damage, 43% crit hit chance, 345% crit hit damage, a 0.40 attack speed, and around 650 as the impact. If we were to compare this with the Spectral Blade side by side, you got a pretty clear difference on which one of these weapons is going to win in terms of the stat department. I mean, it's just pretty much all green on the Storm King's Ravager, and it's just red on the impact, but whenever it comes to impact, you're not really using a sword for that anyways. Now, of course, the Spectral Blade will have the lower base damage, but that doesn't account for the damage to condition perk that it does have. Like I said, after you hit an enemy one time, you're going to get 45% extra damage to either slowed, snared, or affliction or anything like that. So it's not taking into account that extra 45% when we're looking at the stats page. However, this really does get overshadowed by the fact that the Spectral Blade does have less crit damage, has slower attack speed, and also has less options whenever it comes to the heavy attacks. Like I said, the only stat that the Spectral Blade really has on the Ravager is its impact, but that really means nothing for a sword. Whenever it comes to the Ravager, it's green on all cylinders aside from that impact. It's got the damage, it's got the attack speed, it's got the crit hit damage, and it's definitely got the heavy attacks. The Storm King's Ravager has one of, if not the best melee heavy attack in the game in the form of the Storm Wave. And the Storm Wave is a noble launcher type attack that is going to charge up the more kills you get. I mean, we just read it earlier, and the true power of this weapon can be shown whenever you use it on a group of of husks or on a simple smasher by himself, because you can even one-hit smashers with this ability in a solo game. So it's a pretty strong heavy attack. The Storm King's Ravager also has the heavy attack of the Spectral Blade, like I said earlier, which can only be used whenever you jump in the air. However, this proves to be no issues at all, because if you just tap the jump button and then immediately hit your heavy attack, it's practically the exact same thing as using a normal Spectral Blade heavy attack. And lastly, using this aerial attack on the Storm King's Ravager is easily going to charge up your Storm Wave, because you're going to be able to hit multiple enemies at the same time, and so you're not going to have to worry about, individually killing enemies over and over. Just jump and slash a few different times, and then your Storm Wave is fully charged to clear out a full group, or even clear out a whole smasher. So the Storm King's Ravager has a lot going for it, which really does beg the question, what is the point of the Spectral Blade at this point if you have the Storm King's Ravager? And to be honest with you, there really is no point to use the Spectral Blade anymore. I mean, this weapon was previously the best sword in the game, and now it just looks like a tiny pipsqueak in the eyes of the Ravager. There's no reason to use any sword over the Ravager, in fact, because it has the highest damaging heavy attack. It even has that teleporting heavy attack if you jump in the air, on top of some of the best perks and some of the best base stats you'll ever see. There's really no reason to ever use anything other than the Ravager. But that is, of course, where the Spectral Blade is going to come in, because if you haven't done the Mythic Storm King, or you're a newer player to the game or anything like that, the Spectral Blade is literally the top tier option for you. If you can't do the MSK, if you can't get a group for it, if you're too low to do it, if you're just starting out the game, I promise you, get yourself some gold, get yourself the Spectral Blade, and use the hell out of this weapon if you enjoy melee builds. Because just because the Storm King's Ravager is better than the Spectral Blade in nearly every way, doesn't mean that the Spectral Blade is a bad weapon. Like I said, it was previously touted as the best sword in the game, and that's not going to change. If you don't have the Ravager, for you, the Spectral Blade is the best sword in the game, and it absolutely is an absolute beast. If you look at the gameplay in the background, you'll notice that I'm tearing through groups of husks regardless of it not being as good as the Ravager. The Spectral Blade is definitely something that you shouldn't sleep on if you don't have the Ravager. However, if you do have the Ravager, there's really no point to use any other sword in the game. And a lot of this has really sparked a lot of conversation on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/demonjoefr. If you guys are curious, we talk a lot over there about all sorts of stuff with the game, and it's really sparked a conversation of, should multiple mythic weapons really be allowed for you to equip at the same time? Because now that the Ravager is in the game, there's really no point to use any other sword ever. So if you're allowed to equip a mythic assault rifle, a mythic sword, and a mythic launcher, there's really no incentive to use anything else. However, what you could do instead, if they were to implement a system, you would be able to have a mythic assault rifle, then the Spectral Blade, then a regular rocket launcher. Or you would be able to use a regular assault rifle, the mythic blade, and then a regular rocket launcher. But I feel as though the way the game currently is, where you're allowed to equip as many mythics as you want, kind of really outclasses a lot of the weapons in the game and kind of makes them a bit useless. I really do hope that Epic Games maybe does implement a system as to where you are only able to equip one at a time, because the Spectral Blade is a great weapon, but if you do have the Ravager, there's no reason to use it at all at any point in time whenever you are playing this game. So maybe at some point Epic Games might make some changes, but until that day, the Storm King's Ravager is going to be your S+ tier, and the Spectral Blade is going to be your A+ to your regular S tier. Both of these weapons are absolutely fantastic, but if you do pit them against each other, the Spectral Blade just cannot make up for it whenever it comes to reasons to use it over the Mythic Blade. If we ever have to equip only one at a time, the Spectral Blade might see a bit of a resurgence as well as the other swords, but currently as it stands, the Storm King's Ravager is indeed the king of all of the swords in the game. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. I feel like with the Ravager having really good base stats, really good perks, 2 heavy attacks, one of which can one-shot smashers, it's a pretty open and shut case in my opinion. The Ravager is just an excellent weapon, but maybe with some changes later on down the line, the Spectral Blade will become useful again, only time will tell. But that's it for this video. Like I said, let me know your opinions in the comments down below. I really do appreciate it if you guys did watch to this point of the video. I've been a little bit slow on videos recently, but that's just because I've had a lot of stuff going on IRL, but I'll try to get more consistent videos out on a more consistent basis from now on. We do have a really big update coming in 11.30, which will be less than a week from now, so I really can't wait to see what we're going to be getting in that, because I'm really hoping for some Christmas stuff. But that's pretty much it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you did like it, and subscribe if you're new, as I make videos like this almost every single day, and I'll see you guys next time.